Hello, gamers. Sorry I'm late. My whole morning got thrown into a tizzy because my $2,000 bicycle couldn't connect to the internet. And they don't have the opportunity to download classes so that you can't connect to the internet, you could have one like on your hard drive or on your cache or something like that. My damn bike won't connect to the internet. Father, how do I click on the bicycle? So I know I'm preparing myself. I'm tilting myself in the opposite direction that I normally tilt because I know that people are gonna say, "Hey, how was your Peloton ride?" And then I'm gonna tilt in the direction that I have a bias towards, and I'm gonna be like, I didn't have a Peloton ride this morning because my $2,000 bike couldn't connect to the internet. So I'm tilting to the right, knowing that I normally am a bit of a left tilter. If you know what I'm saying. My war chest, just kidding, I didn't bet. Dude, I was dying on Dan's stream yesterday. I got so many +2s in Dan's chat. Because I joined his stream. It was an hour into the stream. When I joined it, it was just his chair. I left, bought lunch, came back like 25 minutes later. It was still just his chair. So I typed Dan Carlin voice, and I quote, "Streamers, I stream like 90 hours a week. The stream, semicolon." And then it was, you know, what's on the screen right now is the... And then people were like, wow, blown out, BTFO, so owned. Anyway. But, like, I actually think that Dan, at least this week, at least yesterday especially, but also on Monday, his 4 hours of streaming contains actually, like, 20 minutes of gameplay. And I don't even mean it in a bad way, it's just kind of mind-blowing. He did say the F word. He tried to hide it. He was fighting King Dice. You got to roll the dice to move across the board. He wasn't paying attention. He got all the way through the board and then rolled the number that forced him to go back to the very beginning, and he went, fuck. Oh, man. He was watching One Life to Live finale videos on YouTube. I told him I read the Dexerto tweet about how he beat Millennia, and the comments had me laughing. And then he scrolled through literally every single comment until he saw a photo of Giga Chad pulling his pants down, and you could see, like, you couldn't see his you-know-what, but you could see the veins that led to his you-know-what. But the one that got me laughing is, like, people were dunking on Dan for, like, taking 3,000 attempts to beat Millennia. And then somebody said, what a joke. I would never let my viewers suffer through this. And then just a random replied to that guy and said, what viewers? And it had me laughing for like 15 minutes. I was like, oh man, this is so good. They were not a tier 3 Daniel sub. They were just like a normal person who was like, they just wanted to own somebody. Skill-based matchmaking is only in solo show? What the hell, dude? We should be queuing squads. Boosted in Fall Guys. Dude, why would anyone ever want to be boosted in a game? That doesn't make sense to me. If anything, you know those services where you can like pay somebody to take you up to Platinum 6 or something like that? I wish there was a service where I could pay people who are shitty at the game to play on my account for like 6 hours. And then when I log back in, my elo was lowered to like silver 1. That would be a damn dream. Probably against the TOS, but... Can you imagine if like on chess.com, you're supposed to be like a 1500? See you in hell. But then like every night, after you get to 1500, you just let some little kid play on your account. You go down to 700. You would have like 20 amazing games right after that. And never learn anything, but who cares? It's not like you're going to the World Championship anyway. He didn't even grab you? So a lot of people don't know this because Fall Guys only recently went free to play, so not everybody's well versed in the mechanics. If you hear that, you've been grabbed. Like that sound that they just made right there, that's a grab. And sometimes you'll see the outline of a circle appear on your body. See, that time I grabbed that guy and dropped him to his death. It's called skill. What am I doing? You don't have to go. There's no reason to go. Hater arc? Okay, he's smarter than me. Well, here's the thing. I'm only recently a convert to being a hater. So I don't know, like, all the necessary skills and whatnot that make hating an art and not a science. That one felt pretty good. It was the same dude, too. So when you do it, it's skill. When someone else does it, it's trolling. Yep. You got it all figured out. People be like, never judge someone else till you walk a mile in their shoes. Nope. I'm judging. Sorry, I'm an ISTJ. I don't have any control over it. I judge by default. Girl boss behavior. I'm on my narcissist arc. I'm not actually a narcissist. If anything, we've said this before. If I have anything that used to be in the DSM-2, I think it's like 7 volumes out of date now. I have perhaps passive aggressive avoidant syndrome. Where, like, if something bad happens to you, you're like, I'll worry about that later. And then you just never think about it again because it increasingly becomes more anxiety-inducing until it comes to a head that forces you to deal with it, the problem having grown much larger than it would have originally been if you had just tackled it in the first place. That's a given. But I'm a little bit on my narcissist arc right now, which is sometimes people, I'll do something and people will say that's not fair, and I'm like, you're absolutely right. I'm acting in my own self-interest. And you know, I'm loving it. Now we trip them up. Now we break some ankles. Something like this. Then watch this. Yoink. I don't know why I thought that would shoot me backwards. Maybe because I don't have an understanding of how arrows work. Okay. Oh, he made it. That's unfortunate. It was a great grab, though. That grab where I got the tail. You got to put some respect on that. Okay, where's he going? He's going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. Now I got you for 3 minutes of play. Don't grab me. I have to make it across. How'd you grab me in midair and then jump on my head? They're all grabbing each other. Fair enough. Fair enough. We let ourselves get... Here's the thing. I blame myself for that one. We let ourselves get stuck in the miasma. And with 4 seconds left, people just go... They know their only chance of winning is to just grab and pray that the game bugs out. What you gotta do is be like... At 10 seconds, you gotta cut them off. You gotta be Champ Bailey going up against Marvin Harrison. And every time he goes, you gotta go, and then you gotta go, and then you just gotta tackle him. And then you're good. And then you got nothing to worry about. But I'm not too disappointed. Oh, there was an authentication failure? That's my bad. Yeah, it's probably because I was trying to play unauthenticated. It's alright. The game's only been out for 2 years. It's alright. I only paid, well, my wife paid $2,000 for the Peloton, plus, I don't know, like $60 a month. It's alright. No, the bike goes down twice monthly. The bike doesn't work unless there's internet connectivity associated with it. Oh, the peak of internet functionality was like 2007, and then it just increasingly gets worse and less reliable as the same 4 companies acquire every single service and then load them up onto the same... infrastructure that's slowly crumbling and never being invested in whatsoever, and then their servers are exploding and burning the IT engineers who have to go in and fix it. No big deal. No big deal. There's an authentication failure. The Fall Guys servers don't work. I will play squads show. Well, play duos show with a lad. Servers down. They just posted. All right, cool. Slash marker. Fall Guys. It's no big deal. Like, you know, how does this happen? Maybe I don't understand. Is it because everything's running on either AWS or Azure? Is that what it is? Yes, that's it. Okay, hold on. Fall Guys. I mean, you know what? Reddit.com/r/Fall Guys game. Rant mega thread. Let's see what's the top rant. Grabbing doesn't work against some costumes early in rounds. So true. So true. That's why I lose most of the time. It's because I can't grab the right costume. Game is under maintenance. There will be some downtime in a short while. We're rolling out some changes under the hood. Shouldn't take too long. If you get an error message whilst matchmaking, please try again later. That's annoying. Okay, well, you know, we'll just load up Cult of the Lamb then. That's, it's that easy. Maybe this is an ignorant take. Hey, why in chat if you agree with this idiot take, and if you don't, why do they do maintenance when things were working fine? The thing that breaks the game for me most of the time is when they do maintenance. The downtime from maintenance is like 98% of the downtime, and the downtime from actual issues is 2% of the downtime. Why don't they wait till they get the 2% and then do the maintenance? I work in software? Okay, if you work in software, why are you typing in my chat right now? It seems like you lurk in software, quite frankly. Oh, I'm so busy, I only have hours a day to disagree with the streamer's obvious joke in Twitch chat. I'm really busy pretending to work, making a tweet that says, hey, we're taking the game off for scheduled maintenance so that they think we're doing something, when actually we're just enjoying the free LaCroix out of the communal fountain, getting 64 donuts catered to the San Francisco offices that cost us $373,000 a month. Every donut gets billed out to the clients at $22 each. It's got one strip of bacon on it for some reason. It's like a bacon matcha donut. +0. I'll take that. I'm surprised that I only got like 800 likes on the tweet that said going to Subway and asking the sandwich artist what's good today. I think I'm going to make that into a TikTok. And I bet it'll get, I mean, TikTok's a little different. It'll probably get like 1 million likes, would be my guess. Which is like the equivalent of 1,000 on Twitter. It's at 801. That's pretty bad. +2. I'll take my +2s, at least. Alright, well, Fall Guys' loss is Cult of the Lamb's gain. Honestly, to do maintenance on your 2-year-old game the day that a highly anticipated roguelite comes out, I mean, that's like, we cleaned some vomit and got a necklace? What just happened? Follower will harvest bonus resources. I mean, it's just a silly move. It's like trying to put Armageddon out on the same day as Deep Impact, or vice versa, depending on your perspective. Please do not say inserminate me. The sick will die without rest? Okay, well then go rest. They're not gonna die. If they die, it's their own fault. It's not victim blaming if it's the victim's fault. Their non-bed resting was self-inflicted. Victim blaming is not like a cheat code that you think it is. If you cut off your own leg or something like that, and I'll be like, why'd you do that, dummy? You'd be like, oh, here we go again with the victim blaming. Well, you were the victim, but you were also the perpetrator. You're the one who took the damn James Franco saw from 127 Hours. You're both the victim and the assailant. He didn't have a saw? I've never seen the movie. He didn't have the saw? How did he cut his damn leg off then? He used a little knife? What the hell? No wonder the movie's not called 15 Minutes. Do you think you could do that if your leg got stuck in between 2 big rocks and your only option was to cut it off? You think you could do it? I mean, let's assume that after you did it, you would live. Do you think you've got the intestinal fortitude to do it? I'm like 55-45 that I could do it. But I'm also, I think there's a reasonable chance that I might just be like, you know what? Maybe dying's not all that bad. But then I guess your choice isn't like, cut off your leg or like, you know, just pass away. Like, it's cut off your leg or like slowly starve to death or like die of thirst. In which case, I would like to think that I would give it a chance then. But what do I know? I thought you have an above average will to live? I think I do. At least among my generation. That's why I'm giving myself 55-45. I think most people probably would not do it, and I don't even think that's a bad decision. You would definitely faint? We're assuming we wouldn't. We're assuming we wouldn't. We're using, you know, like, God logic. Louisville represent... Okay, I'm sorry. Like, they're not very faithful right now. We're gonna have a quick marriage. Just a quick one. Can I choose my spouse? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna choose my wife. Oh, look at that! It's kind of a sick wedding, dude. Also unlocked a tarot card. They love me. And now, time to consummate. 2+2 spirit hearts too. I was laughing because apparently, like, one of the daycare families, they have 2 kids, but they're not married. Who cares, for one? But they told us when I was picking my daughter up, they were like, oh, we're actually, after 4 years of engagement, we're going to get married this September. And I was like, oh, congratulations. And then the dad said, yeah, I'm really excited to consummate this thing. And I was like, I let out one of those laughs that was like, and then, like, covered up. So I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to laugh at that joke. But I think that you probably know it's okay. I mean, you and your wife have 2 children that look just like you. So, was the mom there? Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, she was there. I don't think she was offended, though. I think it was just a good joke. Smallant had a hair dye once said at $1 million. Are you offering that as a suggestion for me? I got some, I got a horrible revelation for you. I'm not sure if you've seen the scuttlebutt on the internet, but he's bald. Not Smallant, obviously, but myself. You could do beard and eyebrows. No disrespect to other streamers, but I have to interact with normies, like, on a daily basis. I'm not gonna show up at daycare with dyed eyebrows and be like, hey, can you give me custody of my child? Cowardice is honestly, it's just like, some people resist the pull of the internet to become a degenerate, because the pull is always there. And say, no, I'm gonna continue to live in the real world. And some people say, no, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do a back hair dyeing stream. Okay, I got the Roman numeral wrong. Can I tell you, I don't respect Roman numerals anyway. Why are we still using them? We have superior numerals. Like, I'm gonna be the change I want to see in the world. A few things I'm not gonna teach my daughter. Okay, that was horrendous. Rare chest, though. A few things I'm not gonna teach my daughter. 20% chance of getting a spirit art when you kill an enemy? Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna teach my daughter cursive writing. It's a waste of everybody's time. I'm not gonna teach my daughter how to type with the home row. She'll figure it out herself, I'm sure. Probably be the first generation, part of the first generation to hit 200 words per minute. Oh, flowers. Typing on a phone keyboard with no mistakes. And I'm not gonna teach her Roman numerals. There's just no point. We don't live in Rome. She can use American numerals like the rest of us. Too hard for you? Excuse me, I'll have you know that I built a Roman numeral converter for assignment 1 in my first C++ class. Wasn't my first programming class, but it was my first C++ class. I don't really remember. The hard part was not programming it. The hard part was figuring out the logic flowchart for the damn switch statement. Ew, a switch statement? Well, we learned about switch statements. So the assignment was like, use a switch statement. I'm sorry that in my C++ class, my professor didn't say write it in brainfuck just to prove, like, you know, what if you were programming at your job and your enter key broke, so you lost the ability to make new lines? What if for some reason you had to make the thing work entirely in one rambling run-on programming inline statement? I will say, I'm not religious. I'm kind of interested in the idea of going to a short service every Sunday and then eating a bunch of delicious homemade food. Is this frowned upon in the church, or is this considered part of the breakage of doing business? Just do it? Oh my god, there's 3 broken beds. That's how they get you? I don't think they're gonna get me. I'm willing to lie for a source of good scrapple. You're not forced to go, you can just eat the food. I've been to like a few concerts at churches, like, you know, 2 things that are not that popular with my generation: classical music and organized religion. They banded together to use the influence they have to help one another. So sometimes, like, one of Kate's music performances would be at a church. It'd be like some delicious homemade kimbap afterwards. It was worth it, man. Homemade kimbap from church lunches is pretty good. One of the best perks of being an afternoon teacher in South Korea is when the kids went on a field trip in the morning, their parents, there you are, would send, like, every second kid would come with a ton of kimbap. And then the kids wouldn't eat it all, and they would just leave it in the teacher's office. I show up to work at like 2 p.m. Oh man, I'm eating homemade kimbap non-stop. Dude, we got our daughter a little encyclopedia that has a bunch of animals in it, right? Can I tell you the most messed up thing about it? One page dedicated to mushrooms. I understand mushrooms are kind of not plants. Like, in a culinary sense, they're used in the same way that plants tend to be used. But at the same time, I'm like, what are these mushrooms doing in my animal encyclopedia? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the encyclopedia is not called Encyclopedia of Things That Are Not Plants. Honestly, it was one of the reasons I didn't like eating mushrooms, was because of the fact that, like, the more you learn about mushrooms, the more you're like, there's some form of, like, fungal super intelligence that I don't want to... Like, when you see a little toadstool popping up on the ground, you're like, oh, cute, what a little toadstool. What a cute little guy. And then underneath the earth, there's, like, a human brain's worth of neural connections between the mycelium. It just seems... It's like you're eating, like, a being that has a higher level intelligence or something. Anyway, I refuse. What do you mean I fly in my private jet every day? I haven't even flown in a damn airplane since 2019. I'm sure it's not that atypical considering, but like, people will legit be like, oh, fuck you if you ever engage in, you drive a combustion-fueled car, fuck you, and then they'll fly to like a Street Fighter V tournament across the country and come in dead fucking last. Thanks for the 5,000 kilograms of CO2 you just added to the atmosphere to drop out of loser's bracket in 2 straight. I feel attacked. Yeah, like if you're gonna contribute to the destruction of the planet, at least win. That's all I ask. Caught some Evo this weekend, I guess. I did not catch any Evo, but I passively followed some of the results on Twitter because I don't follow any fighting game fans, but apparently everybody becomes a fighting game fan when Evo's on. And they tweet the same way NFL fans tweet during like the AFC Championship game with no context at all. They'll just tweet somebody's name in all caps. Joe Burrow! Holy shit! Trinket! Trinket! And then you gotta figure out like what the hell they're even talking about. Like 9 people tweet Trinket OMFG at exactly the same time. And you're like, what happened? And you're like, oh, they made it to losers bracket quarterfinals in Skullgirls. Yeah, well, like, good for Trinket, honestly, but I wouldn't mind having some context associated with those tweets if you want me to understand them, but maybe you don't care if I understand them, and that's, you know, you gotta use Twitter in whatever way's best for you as well. When that happens to me, it's usually some 14-year-old Minecraft streamer who gets an average of 25,000 concurrent viewers, and I have no idea what's going on. Oh yeah, I mean, you just accept, like, if something that you don't understand is trending, and it's like 8 p.m. Pacific time, I'm like, oh, this is related to Dream SMP. 100%. And that's fine. It's not for me to know. Okay, Boomer. I don't even take offense to Okay, Boomer anymore. Okay, Boomer carried a lot more power when people only used it for, like, the worst takes on the oldest people. Now they use it like, you could be like 28, you say Okay, Boomer to someone who's 24 just because they disagree with you about something. Okay, Gen Xer. Honestly, I wish I was part of Gen X. I feel like Gen X, well, like, here's the thing, the jury's out on Gen Z. We don't know anymore. Like, or we don't know yet, I should say, because some of them are, like, old enough to be adults, but some of them are still in, like, 9th grade. So you gotta give them the chance for their generation to shake out a little bit. Millennials, we're not a cool generation. Whatever. You just gotta own that. Gen X is, like, the last cool generation. Which annoys me because some of them are insufferable on social media. But they're like the last generation that had good radio. Mine is too. I mean, if you're a millennial and you're saying we had good radio, you actually don't know what you're talking about. They were cool in the 80s? What are you talking? They were like 6 years old in the 80s. If you're gonna participate in like generational insults, you got to at least get the delineations right. I didn't say I said Gen X was like, whatever. Like literally when people are like, they're not cool. I know one person from Gen X and they use racial slurs. Okay, well like, fuck that person. That doesn't mean that like Soundgarden wasn't sick when they were contemporary. Gen X is now 60 to 80 years old. They're not 80 years old. Come on. People from the Gen X were born in 1942. I hope it was bait. 42 to 57? What are you talking about? That's a damn baby boom. Are we having like a localization issue or something right now? I don't understand. 42 to 57. Oh, 42 and 57 in age. In age, not 1942 to 57. Oh my God. Oh, I meant 1960 to 1980. Okay, well then, like, I don't want to give you a living language lesson. In that case, you would say Gen X is 1960 to 1980, lol. Instead of Gen X are 80 to 90 right now, Lamau. Like again, I don't know how old you are. I've crossed many decade delineators in my life. I've crossed I've crossed 1 century delineator. I've also crossed a millennium delineator. If you're born in 2000, maybe you feel like it's okay to drop the first 2 digits off of a year. I'm telling you, those of us who have living memories of before 2000, we use all 4 digits, okay? Because we need to use all 4 digits to specify. Okay, boomer. I mean, honestly, then this is not a knock. If anything, it's pitiable. If you don't remember what life was like before 2001, admittedly, I wish I had more memories of it. But if you don't remember what life was like before 2001, I kind of feel bad for you. Because it wasn't perfect, but it was different for sure. And I think it was different in some ways that are negative, but some ways that are positive. Like if you went back to... I'm obviously not using this right. If you went back to the 90s, you would find it unlivable because a lot of our modern conveniences would be gone. However, if you lived it contemporaneously and you didn't know that you were missing out on, you know, streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, you would be, I mean, you'd be living it up. Let me just say that. I also think, like, the other thing worth noting is that we've had all these innovations in the world. And some things obviously are, like, doubtlessly positive, full stop. Like the inventions of new treatments and medicines and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like when society invents something new, you get, like, a brief hit of being like, holy cow, this is amazing. Oh my God, a smartphone. And then after like 6 months, you revert to actually like a lower level of happiness. Like we got more stuff now and better stuff, but people are less happy. And I don't think it's a problem with the people. I think people are doing their best. People, you know, of a certain disposition seem to think that anytime you get sad, you should just think about what life was like in like 1875 and be like, oh, at least I have Twitter now. But I think in general, people, if you took a wide swath of people, they would say they're probably less satisfied with their lives now than people of the same age were like 30 years ago. That's just my guess. Even if they do have avocados 2 times a week. It might be because we have more knowledge. I mean, there's some truth to that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an anthropologist or whatever you'd have to be, whatever job title you'd have to make up to feel like you can make these statements with confidence. People were more bored in the 90s, which led to more substance abuse. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing drugs in the 90s or the 2020s or really even the 2010s for that matter. But I feel like at least the drugs in the 90s were like, yo, check it out. It's pot. It seems like the drugs in the 2020s are like, you know, check it out. It's life-destroying if you take it even one time. It seems like maybe... I don't know. I debate on the number of people with substance abuse issues being higher in the 90s. But that's just because I don't have a hunch either way. I'm just not going to let you get away with the assertion for free. It was the same? I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think that's the Panglossian idea. That like, oh, the world has always been the same. The only thing that's changed is you. I don't think so. Like, if you look at the chart of like overdose deaths and hospitalizations in BC, like the graph changed whether I was changing it or not. Well, I was not involved with the graph, but it seems like it's become more of a crisis. But you have it both ways. What do you, is it always been the same, or is it Purdue Pharmaceuticals' fault? I think that it's Purdue Pharmaceuticals' fault, and that's why they had that enormous class action lawsuit where they ended up having to shut down the whole company. Both can be true. It was nicotine and tobacco back then. Yeah, but hey, anyone here a millennial? We did something right. You remember, millennials, we stopped smoking. We killed the cigarette companies for like 15 years, and then the damn Juuls came out and brought tobacco and nicotine back. We had them on the damn ropes, man. At least my generation almost did one thing right. We still got some time left too, hopefully, even though we're old as shit. Not even close. I think we were doing a pretty good job. In my first year of university, there was one person who smoked on my dorm room floor, and I remember being like, oh, I know her. She's a smoker. Not because it was a judgment necessarily of like morality, but it was more like that was an easy way to identify that person because they were like the only person I knew who smoked. It's Pog. It gets good. I almost don't even want to go in, okay? Because I only watched an episode and a half, so I can't speak with authority, but that's never stopped me before. I understand that people want it to be good. And that, when you want something to be good, it gets like a plus 25% buff, okay? I gotta tell you though, I don't feel like the Sandman is it. When you want something to be good, you automatically like it more. Anytime a streaming service or a company is like, hey, we're gonna spend $200 million on a fantasy or a sci-fi project, I'm like, man, I really want this to be good. And then I watch it, and the first 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, why did so many people say this was ass? This seems amazing. And then like 25 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I fell victim to the same psychology when I went to see The Matrix 2 in theaters. I wanted it to be amazing. How could it be worse than the original? They learn from the mistakes they made in the original and make it even better. Plus, at the end of the first movie, Neo can fly. Imagine what he could get up to in this one. I saw it. While I was watching it, I said, this is the greatest action movie I've ever seen in my life. They did it. It's actually even better than the original Matrix by a lot. It's probably twice as good. And then like a couple of years later, I watched it again and I said, wait a minute, this is not even close to as good as the original. This actually sucks. And then I watched it like last year and I said, wait a minute, this doesn't actually suck. This is actually good, just in a different way. But the third one still sucks. I think the second Matrix is actually a little underrated, but is starting to get its due desserts. It's just desserts. It's just diligences. The third one is not good. Nobody cares about Zion. Nobody likes your house, Jacob. Nobody likes your city, Morpheus. Just go back into the Matrix and do like some anime shit. Like when he pulled out the katana and sliced the SUV in half. You didn't love the Dirty Zion rave? What's crazy is that's actually in the second movie. So I don't hold that against the second movie. Well, like the first half of The Matrix 2 is really bad. But the second half is like an hour and 30 minutes of just live action anime. And I think that's kind of when The Matrix is at its best. Except for the first movie when it was just good, you know, in general. How about the cake that made the lady come? Okay, I apologize. That was like very blunt wording. We gotta cancel the Merovingian, okay? That's not okay that he's feeding people desserts that give them orgasms against their will. That motherfucker needs to be canceled. Explain? In the second movie, he says like, oh, check it out, because I'm a rock star coder. I can do whatever I want. And then he makes a cake that sends a bunch of ones and zeros to a woman's genitals and also her brain simultaneously. And then she goes, and she says, excuse me, and goes to the bathroom. It's sick and twisted. And then he never gave out the recipe. And that's the most sick and twisted part of it all. Many people were watching that movie at 13 years old and waiting for the official cookbook of The Matrix 2 to come out. And then it never did. I watched it when I was 12 and I thought she was peeing. I had a friend in, I guess it was the 9th grade when I saw it. I had a friend who told me he received oral affection until completion in the theater while he was watching the second Matrix movie. I was a pretty gullible kid, but even I was like, no, you fucking didn't. Come on, man. Like this, well, he was like, I know I've told this before, but I was like, how was the movie? He saw it opening night, and he was like, I don't know, I didn't really pay attention. I got my blanked in the theater. I was like, no, come on, dude, you're 13 years old. That did not happen. But he maintained, we haven't spoken in almost, I don't know, 17, 18 years. He maintained that story was true. He got his drink drunk in the theater. I love the blanks, man. He got his wallet stolen in the theater. He got his Vingy and marrowed. He got his marrowed Vingian. Here's another question for we're gonna, admittedly it's a little spicy. Don't use your points to contribute right now, okay? Like, because it might not even be working. They just pushed. You just donated 50,000 channel points, I think, to nothing. But that's possibly the most valuable thing you could do with your points. So, you know what? Fair enough. This is I would love to get like a real answer on this, because it sounds like this story is really common. You read a lot of stories on Reddit. You see a lot of stories in Twitch chat about like, hey, we were in like 10th grade science class, and one of the kids at the back started masturbating, and then the teacher yelled at him. That story, a lot of weird things happened in my high school, I guess. That story, oh, they pushed me off! That never happened to me in my high school, at least not in my classes. Go ahead, say it, real voice, real voice. Can I get a Y or an N if that happened in your school? Happened 3 times in mine. Happened at mine. N. There's a lot of Y's though. It's probably at least 35% Y's. That's wild, man. Yes, the kid got expelled. Yes, not in my class, but it did happen. But in my hall, in the library, I would say weekly occurrence at mine. What? Weekly occurrence? That school's got some problems. They need to do a crackdown. Now, there's probably a few people in chat who were that kid, but I'm not going to ask you to relive that shame. Just continue living in relative anonymity, okay? 2 students did it in the school elevator, and they got caught because somebody pressed a button. Okay, there's 2 things that makes me think of. One, was your school 80 stories tall? Your school had an elevator? Our school had 2 staircases, and one of the staircases had the assisted lift that you could like put someone on, and then it would take them up the staircase, but we did not have an elevator. The second thing is, that's why I never understood the song Love in an Elevator by Aerosmith. First off, how tall is the building that they're in that they can have intercourse to completion in an elevator? And then also, what are they just holding like the closed door button or something like that? Or are they bogarting the whole elevator? In which case, there's probably like some old ladies trying to get back to their suite on floor 63 that they're gonna have heart attacks on the damn stairs or something. I don't fully understand how elevators work, but I'm starting to learn, because I think I told you guys this once before, but one time me and my daughter were in the elevator and she pushed the emergency call button, and then it went beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, like it was clearly making a phone call from the elevator. And then the door opened up to drop us off on our floor, and I just got out. And then like 3 people got in the elevator, and I heard them go, oh, what's that? But I did not stick around to see the resolution. I was like, I'm out of this. Hey, what the hell is this new political meme? Dark Brandon. It's the idea that Joe Biden is secretly some kind of genius, right? It's old? No, it's not old. It's probably like a month old. But I'm not a month old, ergo sometimes I fall behind on my memes. It's like the Jeb memes. Please don't talk about it, he could be watching. Okay, you know what? Just from that, I'm starting to pick up on this. Has Dark Brandon ever gotten his blanked while watching the second Matrix movie? Has he ever gotten his ticket ripped? Because if he hasn't, then he could use it again to go see it another time. Yeah, even though I don't do double entendres anymore, I love the... What an incredible play! I love the blanking. Because I'm not making the joke. Your brain is making the joke. So, like, if I said something like, oh, my friend, his wife didn't like how he blanked, so she cut off his blank. You'd be like, holy shit, is she in jail? I'd be like, why? She didn't like how he looked, so she cut his hair? Oh, is it illegal to give your husband a makeover now? You're sick! Adam Sandler voice. You're sick! Literally 12-year-old humor. Yeah, but anytime I do the Dennis Miller jokes, people just say he's canceled. I don't want to go off on a rant here, but does anybody else think that the Dark Brandon conspiracy theory is more of a reach than when Hollywood tried to make 4 Divergent movies before the first one even came out in theaters? I mean, come on here. If you're James Cameron, you can greenlight 5 avatars simultaneously, but if you're Stephanie Meyer's understudy, you gotta have some realistic expectations. There, literal 90-year-old humor. Congratulations. The cerebral guy never left, okay? He's always in there. He's just having more fun now, blanking his blank on camera. Telling his jokes! Telling his jokes! What's the problem? Tell Frasier jokes with the blanks? Honestly, that's like too many threads for my brain to keep going. Roz, that's more ill-advised than the time Niles got his blanked before he finished. That's more ill-advised than the time Niles got his table bust before he was finished. That's more ill-advised than the time Niles got his penis eaten. his testicles excised before. Like, I'm trying to think you could put like vile stuff in the blanks now. That's someone in chat said it and they're right. That's the next evolution. Is that you start by thinking it's like the blanks are like got his dick sucked. But then instead you're like, you know, got his balls ripped or something like that. Anyway, it could work. You're sick. I'm dying of laughter. I'm happy to hear that. That's more ill-advised than the time Niles got his perineum tattooed. Well, I'll see you in hell. That was a good one. Hey, you know what? There's 3 seconds remaining. I'm sorry. With 3 seconds remaining, I gotta delete the blank. That's just how we do it. That's just how we do it. Otherwise, there's an arbitrage opportunity. I'm sorry. Believers got a little saved there. No doubt about that. I can't believe I'm on the max level. I watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger Stogies video, and it's fantastic. It is great. I don't have to hide when I smoke my stogies, unlike you. Do you think Arnold had to hide the child he had with his housekeeper from his wife for 17 years? Because he wasn't hiding the stogies. Sorry. He wasn't hiding when he smoked the cigars. But I do believe that he was hiding the fact that he had an extramarital affair with one of his and his wife's employees that led to the birth of a child who looks a lot like him. Arnold blanked his blank. Terminated his Terminator. I don't want to know what the blanks are. NL's got the moves. Do you have the moves? Dude, my daughter, she's getting like pretty advanced. Like, intelligence-wise, last night, we were doing baby duty. Okay, I can't watch that. I'm sorry. You're too bad for me to watch. And out of nowhere, she said, and it wasn't perfect diction, but she said, I'm Peppa Pig. My brother, George. Mommy and Daddy Pig. And I was like, holy cow, she's reciting the Peppa Pig intro. The whole intro. It's only like 15 words long, but like a year ago, she couldn't say like more than 2 words. She does, because it came up in chat, does she have a British accent? Only when she says words that Peppa Pig says a lot. Like when she says mommy, she sounds North American, i.e. normal. When she says mama, or no, vice versa. When she says mama, she sounds North American. When she says mummy, she says mummy. But that's okay. We'll have her watching reality TV soon. She'll start talking like Larissa from 90 Day Fiancé. All those who oppose the queen will die. Has your daughter discovered Gracias Corner on YouTube yet? I haven't let her be in charge of the programming yet. There's a few things I won't let her watch. Honestly, I won't let her watch, and they're probably not even that bad. I won't let her watch Coco Melon, because when we watched like one episode of it, it just seemed so vapid as to be like nefarious. Like, it seems to me like it's just not the best thing that she could be watching. And the other one that that comes up all the time, like our Roku's always trying to get us to watch it, is anything involving Blippi. I know that Blippi has a video where he poops on his friend's face or something like that before he became Blippi. I think that's hilarious, but even that is not enough to convince me to let my daughter watch his videos. Because it just, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure the Blippi stuff is actually not that bad. It just, I don't know, I don't trust YouTube. I also, maybe this is not fair of me. I'm not saying he's like a bad guy or anything like that, but a man who's my age, dressed like that, and like going to playgrounds and stuff, it just seems like, make it a cartoon or something. Like, it's just, I just don't, because I put myself in his shoes and I'm like, I wouldn't do that shit. I know I've said this before, and I mean this. Anytime I watch an episode of like The Wiggles, I'm like, if some of those people that are in the Wiggles have been in the band for like 20 years, there is a 0% chance I would still be alive. I would have died either by my own hand or by a vice that I would have turned to in order to allow me to cope with singing those songs every day in those voices. I mean that with respect, because I couldn't do it. I could probably do it for like 5 years, and then I would be like, I gotta find a way out. Beep, beep, chugga, chugga, big red car. We travel near and we travel far. Beep, 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 chugga, chugga, big red car. We're gonna drive the whole day long. Hot potato, hot potato. Hot potato, hot potato. They got songs where they do Old MacDonald Has a Farm with every letter of the alphabet. The song is like 27 minutes long. I know they're paid. I'm just saying, like, the duty of doing the job itself. Like, I say this with only the slightest bit of irony. I think I would rather be like an executioner in the medieval era than be in the Wiggles. And that's probably an indictment of my own moral compass. But like, I think I could live with that. Because I mean, how often are you doing executions in the medieval era? You're doing like one every 2 weeks or something like that. That's 13 days of, you know, just chilling. Instead of, you know, 2 weeks straight of touring around New Zealand going, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had an alligator. You and your family would be outcast from the town? Honestly, even better. You think I want to talk to the average citizen in the medieval era? Absolutely not. Wouldn't appreciate all my cerebral jokes. Blippi has 0 emotional content? Dude, that's why Sesame Street stays insanely goated. And also, Peppa Pig is actually sick. Because Peppa Pig is like the most real show on television. Last episode we watched, Peppa Pig can't whistle. She's getting depressed because she can't whistle. She calls up Susie Sheep, and she's like, oh, Susie Sheep, I'm depressed. I can't whistle. Susie Sheep goes, what's whistling? Peppa Pig goes, you put your lips in an O shape and blow air out of them. Susie Sheep goes, oh, like this? Peppa Pig, they turn back to the camera. Hits the hang up button on the phone. That's real life, man. That's a great moment. Peppa Pig's got, it's not as good as Sesame Street, but it's got some good episodes. We were watching Peppa Pig, and I swear to you, there's an episode where they go to a carnival, and then Mommy Pig walks up to a game, and the carny explains the game. And then Mommy Pig says, I don't know if I should play that one. I don't think I'll win. And then the carnival worker says, oh, you won't win. Women aren't good at this game. And then Mommy Pig gets mad, and then the guy says, how much for one go? It's because it's a game of skill. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Now, she girl bosses up and wins the game, obviously, after that. But I was like, man, that's like, they went hard on that moment. That there isn't, I'm not sure if it's the same episode, but there is also one where a carnival worker makes fun of Daddy Pig for being overweight. He says, Daddy Pig won't be good at this. Look at his round belly. And then Mommy Pig goes, give me that. She takes the hammer and destroys the strength test. 2 blackberries, 3 dragon fruits, and a durian. Why don't you like the Sap Weekly? All the animals are bad. There's an elephant and a frigate bird with no hurt triggers. There's no good foods. They made it bad as a joke. It pisses me off. Everybody I go up against has an aardvark. I never get a damn aardvark. Have you listened to the Beyonce album? No, I haven't listened to the new Beyonce album. I haven't. Because my Peloton wouldn't connect to the internet this morning, so I can't listen to any Beyonce. My bike doesn't have any Wi-Fi right now. This is where I get most of my Beyonce exposure. This man's at the end of his damn rope. The devil gets a chill when a nice guy loses. When a nice guy's $2,000 exercise bike loses its connection to the internet. I'm gonna be the change I want to see in the world. By the way, instead of going to Subway for lunch, I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy some meats. Sorry, blind casino. But it's not because Subway is too expensive, and it's not because it's bad for you. It's just it takes too long. Shit just takes too long, man. I know it's like some of the fastest food on the planet, but I can make it faster. I should ask the cashier what's good today. Big fans. We make these. Order ahead on the app? No, like this Subway is... You know how I said you can't have shit in North America? This Subway doesn't even use like the mobile ordering system. Like they don't have the rack where you can just go grab the sandwich. They had it for like a month and then they moved the rack behind the counter. So now you have to go in with an online, and I only did this one time because I said, what's the point of ordering ahead? I went in and like waited in a line to then have the one worker like give me his attention. And then I went, hey, that sandwich you got on that rack there is for me. And I was like, this system is fucking bad. It's not a good system. I don't know if they got a bunch of people got their cold cuts jacked or whatever, so they had to move it behind the counter. But it is funny. I've realized, as far as I know, I've never had a mobile order jacked. The irony is I've been coffee jacked at Starbucks a lot. Like you'd think that system has some supervision. Oh my god. So there would be like less chance that you would get the order wrong. But people will literally like order at Starbucks. See a line of like 20 people waiting for things. And then when the first order gets called, they don't listen for the name. They just go, "Oh, is for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're just waiting here for fun." Yeah, I don't like when they ask for a name either. I would rather I order, they give me a number, they call the number. Like, you know what restaurant has a great ordering system is McDonald's. You pay at the kiosk, it prints out a receipt that says your order number is like 1107. Then you move to the food delivery area. They have a digital screen that's like, here's the ones that are being made and here's the ones that are available for pickup. That's a great system. But some places you go to, they don't even take your name. They just give you the thing that you ordered. They go like, black coffee. And then like 11 people are like, were you here before me? Like you got to self-police the system. Like how many, if you're in a lineup for 20 people, you know 7 of them got a latte with oat milk. Okay? You gotta take some kind of identifying system. Me going to the Starbucks. Hey, can I get a large blank with a splash of blank milk? Can I get a grande blank with some nut blank? It's a grande pike with some nut milk. The bit works, man. You say nut milk to the barista? No, I take my coffee black. And I'm happily married. What a ridiculous question. And why do they be putting the liquids in rectangular containers these days? +2 shit drives me crazy, man. I like when they call them alternative milks, because I don't like being in the Whole Foods and then they're like aisle 5 nut milk. I have seen the nut bags that you put your nuts in the bag and you squeeze them to make nut milk. Best emoji on the phone. I feel like I like the embarrassed sweat drop emoji lately because I've been sending a lot of texts apologizing for not doing things that I said I was going to do lately. Like, my mom needs me to do something. She was like, can I ask you for a weird favor? And I said, maybe. And then she said, can you measure the circumference of your daughter's head for me? I want to buy her a gift. And then I said, sure, we should find the time for that today or tomorrow. And then we didn't find the time for that today or tomorrow. So I sent her a text that said, oh, sorry, we weren't able to get it done today. Sweat drop emoji. Why didn't you honor your obligations? Because I'm a people pleaser and I don't like to make people upset with me by saying no to things that they ask me to do that I don't want to do. So instead, I just say yes and then procrastinate actually fulfilling the obligation until they say don't worry about it. Deep cut, actually true. I mean, it's true. Maybe it sounds fucked up. That's why I don't really ask other people to do things for me. It's like, I mean, it's not like she's gonna fly over and then measure her head. But like, you know, if a person's like in the same house as me or something like that, I'm not going to be like, oh, can you do this? Because then they're forced to do it. I would rather just do it myself and not have them resent me. I might just pick a number. Like, what number sounds right for a baby's head circumference? Knowing that she has a pretty big head. What do you think? Like 74 centimeters? That seems like a lot. 45 inches. But I'm trying, she's like, it's for a gift. And I'm like, what gift do you give to someone where you have to know the exact circumference of their head? A hat? You don't need to know the circumference of someone's head to get them a hat. You just got a rough idea. Oh, excuse me, sir. I need this hat. Do you have this hat in a 58 centimeter? She's not going to the store that outfits the Kingsman. You don't know about hat sizes? You don't need to know about hat sizes. You go into the store, you put a hat on, and you go, this shit too tight. Then you put on a different one, and you go, all right, that feels good. This guy's never bought a fitted. Gratata. Actually, I don't need to buy fitteds. If you just find the largest store, hat in the store, that's the closest thing to fitting. I do the same thing when purchasing pants. Honestly, I'll +2 that. Like, I feel like I kind of know my pant size, or my pants size. But it's weird, right? Like, you could buy a pair of 32s. But after like a year, you could know that you got a little fatter, but your 32s are still fitting good, and you can lie to yourself and be like, oh, I'm still a 32. Look at this. I'm wearing my 32s and I can fit my thumb in my waistband. But then you go to a store and you're like, you try on the 32s and that shit isn't even close because that's fresh denim. Greatest take ever? I mean, that's a universal experience, I think. I did the same thing when we took photos, like for my daughter's first birthday. I had to get fitted for a hanbok. It's a Korean traditional outfit. They said, what's your waist size? I said 32. They looked at me, my parents looked at me, and they're like, come on, man. And I was like, look, the pant label still says 32. And they're like, yeah, okay. I put on the 32, and I was like, next time I get a hanbok, I'm getting a 34. Are you a 34? I don't know. The fucked up thing is, since then, I've done 227 Peloton rides. Now I'm a damn 32, and nobody believes me. I'll find out at my next hanbok fitting. You never know. Chuseok's coming up. That's in October. Dude, we made it. Want to Chuseok on my nuts? Excuse me, that's a sacred holiday. It's like the most important holiday in the Korean calendar. I don't know. I'd have to talk to some people that are Korean and have them verify that. It's either Chuseok or Solnal, and I think it's Chuseok. Everybody's talking about Chuseok. Solnal is like, man, it's still important, but oh, so you're saying there's a chance. Would you say your wife likes Chuseok? I'm not going to answer that question, but I actually, you know what? I would say she probably doesn't like it that much because it's a lot of work. And the last time I went to Kate's parents' house for Chuseok, honestly, it was like a little awkward because they normally speak Korean at home, but for Chuseok, which is like you honor your, dead ancestors, right? They said, well, Ryan is here, so we're going to sing like all these hymns in English instead. So they were singing them in English, but I wasn't singing them. A, because I can't sing, and B, because I'm not religious. I felt like it would be like sacrilegious. Yes! That's such a dude. Can I tell you? I think Sky Pilot 82 grabbed that dude, so I was uncontested. Chad's champion, also like probably IP banned from the game for life. They gave up their account to help me get a win. Batista saved me. Oh my god, I got a crown. I got a crown! Jake S. Jake S. I don't believe it. That would be a perfect time for Slash moment. Oh my god, Slash. Not here. It's not here. Where's my 30 for 30? But anyway, they were like singing the... They were singing the hymns in English for me, but I was not joining them. The other reason I wasn't singing them is because I didn't... Like, you know, do I know... what's the biggest hymn that they sing? Swing Low, Sweet Cherry, and stuff like that. Ave Maria. I know how those go. But then they like turn to page 375 and there's a song called like, you know, every valley shall be exalted. And they're like, sing along with us. And I'm like, I don't know how to sing along with this shit. I've never heard this shit in my life before. Every valley shall be exalted. And the hills laid bare, and the hills laid bare. Like, I don't know the timing. It's like a damn Rush song, the way they're playing around with the time signatures and the arpeggios and stuff like that. Turn to page 405 for the King of Carrot Flowers Part 2. That's actually a +4. First, it's a +2 because it's a Neutral Milk Hotel reference. Then it's a +2 because the King of Carrot Flowers Part 2 is it just the only lyrics for the first minute and a half of the song are I love you, Jesus Christ. So you thought that joke through. Unlike the corners joke, it actually makes sense in two different ways, which is why you earn yourself a +4. I've had this take for like 10 years. I don't understand how... Why do people stream and not talk? I don't think it's laziness. I think it's a personality difference. That's me. It's comfy. I don't talk. Yeah, but you're my wife, so I give you a pass there. Like, sometimes I'll just be like, I'll go to watch a stream. Especially like Twitch front page will sometimes give me that. I'll go to watch a stream, and it'll just be some dude clicking. And I watch him click for like 55 seconds, play like a little game in my head. Like, when is he going to utter his first word? And then the second side bet, the parlay, will the first word be thanking someone for a follow or a subscription? And I got to tell you, I'm war chesting. If someone doesn't talk for 20 seconds, I know the next words out of their mouth is going to be thanks. It's a sweet science. Thank you, Graph Speed, for the follow. Guess what? Eat shit. Any last words? Too late. Fuck you. Sorry. What can I say, man? This game gets me pogged up. What game is this? This is Zombs Royale. It's one of the hottest games on the planet, in my personal opinion. It has a very high pog concentration, if that's the sort of thing you're looking for. It's not Super Animal Royale. It's better than Super Animal Royale because there's no dodge roll. I prefer Super Animal Royale. Then you should really watch Sorry to Bother You. Skill difference. That was a bot or a literal child. Yeah, it's probably a bot that you programmed. What's the people to bot concentration? I don't know, about like 1 in 15. 1 in 15 is a real human being, I would say. You wasted your ammo, dude. You wasted all your ammo missing. And now look at you. Who up getting they dick blanked? Excuse me. That blank better be looked at by a urologist. Otherwise, you're banned. That better be a blank that can hold more than one word. It's not. I did laugh when I said I wasn't going to play the SAP Weekly that much this week. And then someone said, that's okay. The new layout is insane. And then in parentheses, they put derogatory. Is that like a... Ooh! Is that a new thing that people do? Is that they say ambiguous stuff but then add derogatory to the end? Because I found it quite funny. Ah, whatever. I'll stick with this gun. Let's be honest. It doesn't make a lick of difference anyway. 2 gamers remain. That's it. Just 2 gamers. You're in the house. I heard you reload. Okay, reload this. It's called area denial. And I am not talking about a river in Egypt. It's called area denial. You almost exploded. Whoa, what a shot! That was an incredible that was honestly, that was an insane cluster bomb. That was unbelievably well played. I can't be upset. He was spinning 24/7. Okay, maybe he's a hacker. Derogatory. Hey, just so you guys know, I just got an email from X-Plane. The Airbus A340-600, they released a new version of that for X-Plane, so if you're interested, go check that out. I'll go see what's up with that. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Kate is live, and I will see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to play, but we're going to play something. See ya. Little aerial mist for you. Look at this mist. Isn't it neat? Doesn't it make your uninstallation complete? Don't I look like the Pog who has everything? Sorry. What is it called? Javelin tackle. I want to yeet where the streamers are. I want to dolphin dive into tackle. Popping my ult when you do your, what is it called? Atomic punchline. Sorry. So, but I can't stop. I'm not gonna, just because I said sorry doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. Up where they pog, up where they stun, up where they spam mist all day for their fun. Wish I could